All right, welcome guys to another video. I don't want to come across as a person that's negative. I'm not negative. And I think once this video is done, once I'm complete, I believe that you guys are going to get a better insight into what I'm doing. Because if we take a couple of deep breaths and tell ourselves in a meditative state and say, you know what, I'm going to remove my emotion out of this and just look at this from a logical perspective. Now, there are certain times that I may critique and make comments that where I'm not fully aware. I've never said that I know everything. I just know what I'm receiving from mainstream media. So if I'm getting information from the internet or from Google or from any article, that's what I go by. I'm not an insider. I don't work for Colorado Buffaloes. I'm not in the locker room. So I could only speak from a perspective of a person that's outside those confines. And I do get comments of people telling me, "Hey, if you knew this, you wouldn't say this." And you're trying to push a narrative. I'm not trying to push anything. Me pushing a narrative doesn't. I don't gain anything from that. This is just me personally giving my personal take on what I think is going on. And I'm not here to influence anybody to think like me, nor am I here to dissuade anybody to think anything different. I just feel everyone is entitled to think what they want to think. My job on here is just to strictly give you another perspective and to help you think a little bit deeper about the circumstances that are surrounding Colorado Buffaloes. So I'm going to read an article here. It's about Shedeur, and I'm going to be very, very honest. I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to just be honest. And if my honesty is coming across as me being negative, then I'll take that. I'll swallow that. I'll embrace that. I'm not going to mince words in order to appease the palates of people who don't want to hear anything that's close to being a critique towards Shedeur or Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, his father. I know the program has a lot of people who are tuned in, following them. I mean, people are aware of all the transfers. People are following them like every minute. I don't follow Colorado that much. I do to a certain degree, but there are others out there that know way more than I do. All I do is get information that's publicized on mainstream media and I critique it. And if I gain more information that counters what I initially read, then of course I'll go back to that and revise it and do another analysis. So that's essentially what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to share um, my screen. I'm going to read an article with you guys. I'm going to break the article down like I normally do. It's about Shedeur. I'm going to start this message now. I'm going to leave a disclaimer. If you love Coach Prime and you love Shedeur and you love everything about Colorado Buffaloes, exit this video because I'm going to break things down in a very honest way. I'm not going to be negative. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to slander. And if I'm perceived as a person that's inserting slander, it's not done intentionally. It's done due to ignorance, lack of knowledge. So if I don't know something and I say something that I don't know completely, it's not intentional of me trying to push a narrative. It's just me not knowing the full story. I don't claim to be a journalist. I don't claim to be a researcher. I don't claim to be a person that works for Colorado. I'm just a normal guy in the world. It's just giving my take on things that I get publicly through social media. So I'm going to share my article. I'm going to share this article on the screen. I'm going to read it. And again, a disclaimer: if you love Shedeur and you love Prime and you love everything that they're doing, don't watch this video because I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get the comments about you're a hater. I get it all. You don't do this, you don't do that. You put another black man down. People like you is the reason why people don't get far. You're just like Jason Shitlock. I had somebody tell me that. They say I'm like Jason Whitlock. I get it all because people are thinking with their emotions, and I'm trying to get people away from that. I'm just as passionate about Colorado and Coach Prime as anybody else is. But if I do see things that are taking them that I think that may be a hindrance to their goal or to their mission of being successful on the football field, I'm going to say it. All right. So, all right, here we go. All right. Leave a comment and tell me what you guys think in the chat as I'm reading this. All right. Yeah, you guys do see my screen. Yeah. Okay. As you can see the picture here, you see you guys see Shedeur flashing his watch. Young, he can do whatever he wants. It's his money, is whatever he wants. But I'm gonna read the article and break the article down and give mine. Again, if you if you're a passionate supporter of Prime, this may not be a video that you want to watch. Okay. All right. So again, let's start at the beginning. It says days. All right. Days from his own Bugatti Millionaire, $1,000 Rolls Royce to shake off laughing stock status. So this is referring to the, I don't know the full story. It was about his draft status. And I guess there was some feedback about his status going into the NFL draft. Certain people don't think that way. I would like to differ on that. I do think he's good. I just think that the offense needs to be built around him where the offense is not too predictable, because any quarterback that runs an offense where the predictability is very high, compromised in what you can do, because the defense knows what you can do. Then as an offense, and especially as a quarterback, it's harder for you to make your reads down the field when everyone's coming at you because they know what you're going to do. So I think that the play calling, you have to have good coaching to help this guy right here. But he's not a bad good. He's shown me enough to make me believe that he's a good quarterback. All right. So there it goes. Days away from his own Bugatti, millionaire Shedeur Sanders flexes $350,000 Rolls Royce to shake off laughing. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't even like the fact that he posted this. I don't like the fact that he's posting his watch. It's not because I'm hating. It's not because I want that. I don't care for that. You are a college athlete. You are a student. First of all, you're a student. Carry yourself as such. It's disrespectful and disingenuous to your other teammates for you to carry yourself in the way. I say that because just because you have it doesn't mean you have to flex it. You're flexing it. There's one thing to have muscles and wear a shirt to cover your muscles. Then there's another thing to wear a shirt that's super tight, and then you're flexing your muscles. See, there's a difference. When you're flexing, show off. This is a show off. This is a sign of immaturity. These are the same things that Cormani of being immature. I would argue and say this is a sign of immaturity as well. Immature comes in different spectrums, folks. Just because you have doesn't mean you flex. I'm not saying Cormani was not immature. I'm sure he was immature. But let's be fair here, right? If Cormani is immature, so is Shedeur. It doesn't make him any better because he has millions of dollars. This is immaturity on all levels. You're a college stuff. We get it. You have money. We get it. Your dad is prime. Keep everything on the low. Stay beneath the radar. Shedeur, bigger target on your back this football season. You're like the meat, and they're chomping at the bit to devour you. Little do you know that these things that you're doing, these subtle things that you're doing, are a bigger hole at all. Why? 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 Why do you need to do this? Okay. And then it begs the question, like, what incentive do you have to even go to the NFL? You're already living a life of a celebrity. You're not a hungry college student, quote unquote, grinding. Or like, what does Coach Prime say? Get your mind. He doesn't need to get anybody out the hood. His dad is fine. His mother is fine. They're well off. No pun intended. Brothers are fine. Well off media. They're doing great. You already father played football, Shedeur, when he was in college. He didn't have all this. He had to grind to get to this level. And if I was his teammate, it's either not because I'm hating, but it's a part of the human emotion to have a a proclivity to have a bit of jealousy in there when you have one of your teammates that's doing things above the team. If you can't buy a Rolls Royce for every player on your team, then don't do this. If you're gonna take a picture flashing a watch, get a Rolls Royce, and get a Rolls, and the watch that you're flashing, get a watch for all your teammates. If you can't do it, there's no I in team. This reeks of me, I. This is just, don't let the money and the flash blind you, folks. This is immature. This is immature. This is immature. People who blindly are passionate about crime would think this is cool. This is immature. Okay, let me read the article here. I haven't even started in any sense to say this is not a good look. Oh, with his NIL deal costing $4.6 million. There's certain NFL players that don't see this. There's certain NFL players that don't make $4.6 million. The question, what incentive does this young athlete have to even go to the NFL? Or when adversity comes this year, every football season has its ups and downs. Where's his inner drive at? Will he quit? Will he play the blame game like his father does? Throw people underneath the bus? Does he have brat syndrome? Things are supposed to go my way, and when they don't, it's not my fault. Is that you guys aren't blocking for me? You guys aren't catching my passes? And rightfully so, those things could be true. But when you're a true team player, you almost, as a team leader, you put it on yourself. Story about there was a story about Brett Favre, and one of his receivers, I think he's on Speak for Yourself, the show with Emmanuel Acho, Shedeur McCoy. The guy was telling a short story about what made Brett Favre such a great leader. He said something happened in practice, and Brett Favre called a different route. This is a receiver, and he was telling the story on Speak for Yourself. Ran the wrong route, and the quarterback threw the ball. We weren't on the same page. And he said, this is the receiver story. He said the coach was ripping him apart, like, hey, what's wrong with you? Da 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 da. Why the hell are you beating him up as a rookie who's already established as a coach? That was on me. I had changed the play. Brett Favre didn't change the play. You know what Brett Favre was doing? His neck out for his guy, a rookie at that. That's how you ingratiate your team towards you. Do you think Shedeur would do that? No, he doesn't come across as a guy that would do that. You know why I know that? Based upon the decision he's making to do things like this. It's about me. If a freshman ran a wrong route in practice, Coach Prime and the offensive coordinator were ripping that freshman apart for doing something wrong. Do you think Shedeur is going to stick his neck out and say, no, that was on me. It's because I did this or I did that? He's not going to do that. I'm Shedeur. I'm the great quarterback. I'm Coach Prime's son. I'm a millionaire. It's not me. I'm good already. I'm going to the NFL. That's not on me. You see, when you carry that perspective already in the college ranks, it follows you. When you come from a father that's rich, that has money, and you never had to like suffer, or the term that people like to use, get it out of the mud. If you've never had to do that, that's a bit of a shadow on your personality. It does. So doing it all with his NIL of $4.6 million. The Buffs quarterback doesn't hesitate to spend his wealth on luxurious commodities like high-end cars. In fact, when you're young, you just spend, everyone did it. Most young athletes who things, but the wise ones don't do that. Not all the same. Some are wiser than most. Coach Prime considers grown people don't do this with their money. They don't spend money on toys. These are vanities. These things are going to get rusty. They're nothing. They're just wasting your money away. How many cars can you drive at once? You can only drive one car at once. How many cars you have? So here, quarterback doesn't hesitate to spend his wealth on luxurious commodities like high-end cars. In fact, he took great the first Cybertruck in Colorado. Great pride, the first. So what is this about? Is this really about football? What is this about? And he can do whatever he wants to do with his money. I don't. That's not the point of this video. Is not to tell. It's not me telling another person how to spend their money. It's me saying that if you're coming to Colorado saying that it's all about football, then these actions show me otherwise. It's not all about football. Don't make it seem that way to the public that it's all about football. Just be honest. Just say, hey, football is part of it, but I like having all. This is what it's really all about. Football just to me is not a. This is my brand. My father is bigger than Colorado. But the same display of wealth also started a beef when the Buffs' former backup quarterback, say I haven't read this article, something's going to happen here, cooled, left. He took a shot at Shedeur Sanders' extravagant lifestyle by spending all his NIL money on himself. You see, look, folks, look this article. But what did I say earlier? If you're going to do things like this, include your teammates. And if you can't afford it, don't do it. That's the litmus test. That's the barometer. That's the metric. If you have a bunch of money, right, and you want to do something for yourself, ask yourself, money on all of my teammates to have them doing the same thing, then I should not do it. If I'm going to a restaurant, okay, to buy a meal, if I can buy a meal for all my teammates, if I can afford it, then I'll do it. See, you see how that mitigates and controls the decisions that you make that are not extremely too extravagant and extremely on the side of being arrogant and being self-absorbent and being selfish. See, when you include your teammates, including your teammates domesticates your mindset. What do I mean by domesticate your mindset? It keeps you confined within a border that's not going to be treacherous to other people or invade them feel like it's you against them. You cannot have a divided locker room if you're the leader of the team. This is where the division comes in. Now, know what you guys are going to think. Oh, the backup quarterback is just a hater because he didn't. See, you guys like to use the word hater. You guys rarely ever insert logic or insert an argument. You just like to use the word hater. This is a backup quarterback that said this. And you guys are going to say he's a backup. That's why he didn't get playing time. He's probably jealous of Shedeur. No, he's not jealous. He's just saying, like, that's selfish. We understand that you're a millionaire, but what about us? We're not saying to give us your money. That's not what we're saying. We're saying include us in your endeavors. If you're going to go out somewhere, take the whole team. If you're going to buy a Cybertruck, buy the whole team a Cybertruck. And if you can't afford that, then don't do it. Not right now. You can save your money when you get spending crazy and do what the hell you want. But there's a different way to carry yourself when you're on a college level, and there's a different way to carry yourself when you are a grown man playing an NFL game full of grown. These are some 17 who came out of high school. You're looking up to you. You're saying that you're greater and better on the team. Backup quarterback Kevin Cook left. He took a shot. I heard like he took a shot. He didn't take a shot. He spoke his piece. Doesn't equate to taking a shot. He spoke his piece. He said, for Sanders' extravagant lifestyle by pointing out how he spends all his selfishness. We're supposed to be a team, though. Interview on Mad Dog. They're talking about the former backup quarterback, Gavin Cook. They said he said in an interview on Mad Dog TV, look at Colorado. This guy has got 6 cars and an apartment. Now, Sanders seems to be reacting to the criticism without saying a single word. In his, the 22-year-old millionaire, you see, they have to make sure millionaire. The 22 a carousel of pictures on IG with one photo featuring him standing in front of his $350,000 Rolls Royce, one of the several luxury cars in his collection. This speaks to the immaturity. His response is to do this, is to put it more in your face. I'm going to use my money to shine on my haters. You see how that mentality, like puts us down as a people? Do you think that when Tom Brady played, that Tom Brady was poor? But was he flashy? No, he dressed nice. He took care of himself. There's a certain way you carry yourself when you're a leader of a team. And if Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, the father, thinks that the son is grown, these aren't grown moves. These are giving millions of dollars to a 15-year-old. Say, oh, I got all this money. I'm going to go buy a bunch of cars and flash it. What Shedeur is doing is no different than when a 15-year-old. So let's stop acting. Let's label or immature. Number one, his frontal lobe is not even fully developed. Developed in your as men scientifically, just because your frontal lobe isn't developed, that you're going to always do stupid things. But this is a sign that this man, this young man, is not thinking correctly. Because I'm sure when he looks back, when he gets older and looks back, he'll say, "Man, why was I spending all my money on stuff like that? I could have done something better with it." His response is, "What I'll show you, man. I'll show you better than I can tell you." That's that mentality. That's that hood mentality. And it's co-signed by the father, like son. Pull your son to the side, Coach Prime, and say, "Son, you got to stop this. People understand that you're a millionaire, but you got to stop flashing and posting all this stuff. Focus on." This is immature. This is his comeback. It's to post something like this. See this picture with the road? This is his comeback. I got money and you don't. It reeks of being a spoiled brat. I'm sorry. Call me a hater if it's not because of money and I don't have his money. It's not about me wanting to be like, because people say that you just hate him because you want to be like Prime. Well, I don't care to be like him. I like being myself. I'm very comfortable in my own damn skin. I don't care to be anybody else but me. All right. All right, reading along here. It says the Buffs quarterback purchased the Rolls Royce back in November 2023, and we already know Junior is a fan of his brother's car collection. Hence, he recently said that's just his weekly car, though. See how this is when the majority of athletes on the football team are barely scraping by. Yes, they have scholarships. Now, it's very, very distasteful. Number one, it shows that you are out of touch with reality in terms of the temperature of the room with your teammates. You can't do stuff like this. His weekly car. Some of these athletes don't even have his weekly car. So he has a weekend car too. You see his weekend car? It said it. I recently said that's just his weekday car. See his weekend car? He got a Bugatti on the way. Another car for the athlete. Seems like it. Reading along here, I'm down here. Similar to this, Deion Sanders Jr. was awestruck when he saw Shedeur. As per the information available on a cyber beast can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.6 seconds. It's the quickest pickup in the world. Surely the Buffs athlete loves his cars. His car, I'm down here. This materialism is making me want to vomit right now. His car wasn't the only thing he was flexing. Shedeur Sanders also posted another photo of him enjoying with the boys, enjoying with the boys at the crib. These posts after, in response, all these adding on. Okay, all right. Let me continue. These posts came after his online beef with Kud. In response, I'm down. In response to Kud's statement, the Buffs quarterback commented, "I learned sometimes you have to take the high road." This was the high road, Shedeur? That was a high. Wow. The inversion of the mind is ridiculous. That was a high road? You are. Let me let you guys know something. When you have an erroneous self-assessment of yourself, you end up doing things like this. When you think that you're mature because your dad has always told you that you're mature, he has you in his phone program, and you have this misnomer that I'm mature, you feel like your own ish doesn't stink. You feel like you've already responses are great, or I'm not going to correct this kid. You're going to correct like son. They can't take critique. They cannot be honed. It's not our problem. It's your problem. I'm already there. I am here. I'm taking the high road. It's the lowest road that you can take. Without even speaking, your action, and any words, I would react to Kud and go tit for tat, going back and forth. What I'm saying wordplay, I mean uttering words, going back and forth, smack back and forth to one another. I would rather that you're sort of an alpha male, kind of want to kind of go back at somebody, quote, going at you with something that's taking quote unquote shots at you. But for you to be silent and to show how much money you have, and you say that, wow. We live in an inverted world, folks, where up is down and down is up, where good is bad and bad is good, where being truthful is actually being hateful and telling lies is actually being loving. That's the kind of world we live in. So when I speak the truth, I'm called a hater. But if I lie, if I lie, no, I'm speaking the truth. And some of you guys don't want to hear the truth. This is not good. The fact that he opened his mouth to say, I took the high road after posting that as a response to could is amazing. His comment position with fans, driving comments like, wow, see, every time I say something, it's like I'm speaking it into existence, because when I read along, it's like the article is confirming what I'm saying as I'm giving my commentary on this article. His comment, they're referring to Shedeur, put him in a bad position with fans. Driving in comments like, you and your dad are going to be the laughing stock of the sport for years. And you guys tell me that I'm a hater. I don't say things like that on my commentary. I just look at the article and I speak about it, and you guys think I'm harsh? Read the comments down there, and you'll see. You can what I say, better perspective, give you more of a balance to be hated. Saying things like this, that they're going to be a laughing stock for years. Sanders, I'm down here. Shedeur Sanders, online feud. His Dion did something similar. Father, like son. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. One's younger. One's just a younger version of Prime. They're the same. Son's not son. Son is doing what I would do. Put a cosign by adding on, by joining into the feud. Not correcting my son, not pulling him back to say, no, son. Truly take the high road. Don't say anything at all. The high road is to be silent. The high road is not to be silent and then to send them with a video or with a picture. We all know that pictures can say a lot of things. Words can be depicted from a picture. It's a load, showing off, despicable. All right, I'm down here. All right. Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders were caught in social media beef when Xavier, he expresses satisfaction. Okay, this is an older story because, bro, you never. No, I'm going to read this. This is not an older story. I'm going to read this. Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders were caught in social expressing. Deion Sanders saying, I was actually getting mad, like tears coming out of my eyes, because, bro, you never even tried to get come into his father's defense. Shedeur Sanders posted him, to be honest, had to be very mid at best. It's not the best choice of words for Shedeur Sanders, and it received severe backlash from fans. Instead of keeping it behind the curtain, Deion Sanders also leaped into the son's defense and responded to critiques posted, which read, tell your son stop, then put up a 4-8 season. This is childish program that Coach Prime is running, folks. The team is done, the coach goes. And when you have the coach, the adult in the room that's co-signing on the immature actions of the son, then you do the math and you tell me how far the team is going to go this season. And anyway, reading along, Coach Prime hit back as he commented he will be a top 5 pick. Where your son going? So I think I talked about this before. Just reading it, because needless to say, these actions and words cost them their online reputation, garnering disapproval online. Many fans claim that Deion and Shedeur Sanders were quite arrogant. I'm not even going to comment on that. That's self-explanatory. Now, whether Shedeur turns out to be a top 5 pick remains to be seen. What do you think? Let's go down to that. I'm going to, okay, so you guys can see what people are saying, since I'm such a hater. I'm a hater, though. Read this. Let's read this. It says, the Sanders family are disgusting and repugnant. Have I ever said anything like that on the show, on my channel? Have I ever made a statement like that? No, I don't do that. What I see, I critique it. But I call their programs, I say they're dicks. That's as far as I go. The Sanders family are disgusting and repugnant. I don't get on air and talk about them like that. If I did that, then I'm a hater. I'm just getting on just to call names. I don't do that. I'm critiquing the program because I had I have, and I still do currently, I still do. I have hopes that they do well. I'm having hopes that he, like he said when he first came, when he came with his Louis luggage, I have hopes that he's going to do what Saban did or even surpass Saban in terms of to see from prime in Colorado football, even after Shedeur is long gone. So I'm critiquing something because I have a love and a passion for it. I'm not getting on here hating, saying things like that. The Sanders family are disgusting and repugnant. It shows just how out of touch called prime. Hell to the no. But you guys will quickly jump in my comments and say I'm a hater. I don't say things like that. Scumbags with everyone else. Hey, Dion, your son sucks at quarterback. Have I ever said that? No. And with his attitude, he'll be dismal failure in the NFL. Quarterbacks that act like that don't last long, no matter what. Being the way you are, a spoiled little narcissist who is just entitled and wants to make sure the world knows it. Do I say things like that? No. Let's see another comment. 5 pick mean nothing in the NFL. You have to perform at the NFL level, and that remains to be seen. All the hype and trash talk Sundays when it means everything. Let's just see how good he is, because if he can perform, then those cars is worth it. When he can't perform, it'll be embarrassing. Last comment that I'm going to read here, and I'm going to close this video out. He says, I have zero issues with the young man finding financial success and not apologizing for it. Would it be in his best PR interest to not respond to the critic? It would be in his best PR interest not to even post that stuff. You know, me neither. I don't have a zero issues with him being financially successful, but you don't want to rub it in the face of your. See, you're not rubbing that in the face of me. You are indirectly rubbing all that stuff to your teammates' face. So watching you, Shedeur, you're the leader of the team. And what you have, the greater power that you have as a person to control your power shows you truly are. It's not to have the excess and then it's easy. And they can show it and flash it. If I give money to you and you can actually keep it, that shows a maturity and that shows true power. True power isn't shown by the flash. True immaturity and you being impotent and you not being powerful is shown by when you flash your things, because that's easy to do that. Purchase anything and show it off. Anybody can do that. There's nothing unique about that or distinct. But your teammates are watching you as the leader of the team. That's what you're showing them, what leadership is like. All right, good luck. Certainly for his for it. No one's asking him to apologize for this. But I mean, the looks of it, the aesthetics of it is horrible. Like, you don't do that. You don't need to do that. We know you're rich. We get it. Would it be in his best PR interest to not respond to the critics? Yes, it'd be good to not respond to the critics, and it's also good not to post that stuff. Probably, certainly for his father. However, thus far, he's really done nothing wrong. No, he hasn't done anything wrong. I would put more of the responsibility on the father, because he's the number one. He's the leader. 2 years. He's still young. Frontal lobe is still not fully developed. Someone needs to reel him in. But it's hard to. Father is just the same damn way. So I'm not blaming Shedeur, just like I didn't blame Cormani. I'm going to put more responsibility on the adults in the room. Young adults should be held responsible, but I'm not going to hold a young kid to the same expectations as I would an adult. I'm not. If Shedeur was like 35, doing is assigned. Where's the mom and dad? Who raised him? What household did you raised you? Did your dad tell you any better? See, first parent. So I'm not saying that Shedeur did anything wrong. He didn't do anything. He's acted on as a team leader, but all of Coach Prime, the head coach, he's also the head coach. However, nothing wrong. Little back and forth on X is par for the course these days. It's not like he's driving drunk and running people over. Now, see, let's not pick out the worst to justify something that's stupid. So let's not pick or the worst of two evils, I should say. Let's analyze the effect of the other evil. The other evil is over here. Yes, it's less. Yes, he's not driving drunk, but let's not compare. It's almost like a person who's fat and out of shape comparing themselves to somebody that's 600 pounds. You have many women nowadays, and they sit in front of a television who have excess fat, and they'll watch my 600-pound life, and they them because it justifies the state that they're in. Let's not do that, people. Let's focus on the state that we're in. Let's hold ourselves to a higher standard. Don't look at the bottom to justify your a low level. Don't look at something that's lower than you to justify the position that you're at. That's not smart. Okay. It's not like he's driving drunk. Yeah, blah blah blah. Cut him to act about. All right, so that's the last comment that I'm going to read. So, guys, when you're it's just a sign of him being mature. Do you think that? And how do you think this affects his teammates? And do you think the ex-court had his comment? He's very feeling that way. Do you think that there's some validity there? About my commentary, do you think I'm hating still, or do you think that I have a fair critique about what's going on with Shedeur Sanders and Colorado Buffaloes? What you guys think? I'll be making other videos later. Thank you guys for watching. All right, bye. Have a great day.